What's going on, everyone? So all of us really want to see the Lakers pull off some type of trade. And based on the numerous rumors of various options and potential trades out there, that Rob Pelinka is at least doing the due diligence and having these conversations and negotiations. We know that they've even made offers to the likes of like Detroit for a Bojan Bogdanovic, but so far nothing has really gotten done. Now, a lot of that is probably just because no trades are getting done because a lot of teams just aren't in a rush to do trades now. Thanks to the play-in, teams feel a little more confident in trying to make a playoff run rather than just, okay, let's just blow it up and tank. There aren't a lot of sellers out there, but there are a lot of teams that are trying to be buyers, especially in the Western Conference, which drives the price up. Right now, all of the prices are absolutely insane. So as we move closer to the trade deadline, I do imagine a lot of those prices are going to come down because a lot of teams aren't going to want to just lose guys for nothing, right? They're going to want to get some assets, and the Lakers only really need to pull off one, maybe two solid trades, solid moves. And, if the Lakers can squeeze in and even if it's just kind of the ones that fall into our lap, well, then they fall into our lap. But based on what we've seen, Rob Pelinka doesn't have a lot of say. Right? Like, that's a real concern. Rob Pelinka is kind of just the front man that gets all the blame, but we've seen Rob Pelinka try to do moves, right? Like, for example, he tried to get Buddy Hield. There was even talks about DeMar DeRozan. DeMar thought he was going to the Lakers, but the Lakers organization didn't want to give him a long-term contract, so he ends up going. Rob has a deal lined up for Buddy Hield. He goes to try to do the deal. The Keens, everything, spit in a handshake, done deal, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis want Russell Westbrook. So they go and tell Jeanie, and Jeanie approves Russell Westbrook, so Rob Pelinka does the Russell Westbrook deal. And this is a real problem. As much as Rob Pelinka gets criticized, he's not a guy that really has much power. And so many people want to see him gone and see him fired and to have a new GM. But what real credible GM is going to want to go to the Lakers to not be able to do anything and just have Jeanie Buss tell them, no, you can't do that, or no? Like, what basketball mind is going to, usually the front office, yes, owners have the final say, but most owners trust the person that they hired to do the job, to get the job done. But the Lakers are a completely different situation. The Lakers, Jeanie Buss only listens to Kurt Rambis, right? And Linda Rambis. Like, that's it. That's the hierarchy. And then Rob has to do whatever is said. A great example is the Pacers deal, right? The Lakers have the Pacers deal lined up, ready to go. Rob's going to trade Russell Westbrook and 2 first-round picks for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. Indiana's ready to get the deal done. They're going to do it right before media day, and then the deal doesn't get done. And the report originally was that, the Lakers want to see what they got with Russell Westbrook and aren't really trying to trade both first-round picks. Okay, well, now we got the actual information about a month or so ago that no, it wasn't necessarily Rob Pelinka that said, you know what, let's wait it out. It was Jeanie Buss who said, no, I don't want to do that trade. Let's see what we can do with Russ. So again, Rob Pelinka has something lined up and Jeanie Buss vetoes it. And now we got another report that says Jeanie Buss really doesn't want to make any moves that are going to jeopardize the future. She doesn't want to do anything. And that could be a huge hindrance in the Lakers making some type of trade. And that could be why the Lakers haven't gotten anything done. So here's the report. Jeanie Buss doesn't support trading away future assets to help current team. And this is what was said. Now, take this stuff with a grain. Don't know how honest and true this is because, it's one of those things where a conference executive spoke and they wanted, anonymity, right? They wanted it to be hush-hush. They don't want to know who it is, right? So it's kind of like, oh, this person told me type thing. But anyway, however, according to Western Conference executive who spoke with the Heavy on Sports, Sean Devaney, under the conditions of anonymity, the Lakers are unlikely to trade away their future in order to improve the current iteration of their roster, a move which Jeanie Buss supports. Heavy.com Adam Taylor wrote. So again, Jeanie Buss doesn't want to take the chance and doesn't want to take the risk based on this report. Take it as you may. But based on this report, if this report is true, then Jeanie doesn't want to compromise the future for the team now. This, to me, is a bit of a problem, right? Now, we have $30 million in cap space. That is nothing. You're going to sign one guy and that's it, right? And you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You have a team that has shown time and time again that, look, we can compete with the best of them. We just need a solid piece or two, and we're off to the races. If the Lakers went and got, like, let's just say Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burke, right? Because I think that that's a realistic trade. If they just went and got those two guys, LeBron James and Russell Westbrook, right now would be enough. The way that the team is playing would be enough to get us into the playoffs. And then you add Anthony Davis, we're a contender, or at least a team that has a chance. And I really like that. But to wait this season out, you're not gonna, like, it's not gonna benefit you. You're gonna have $30 million in cap space. You're gonna sign Miles Turner, and there's all your cap space. And now it's Miles Turner, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, and then a bunch of vet minimum contracts. Yeah, you'd have your mid-level. Yeah, you'd have your biannual. But you're not gonna round out a 10-man roster that's gonna be competitive for nothing. And the West is so wide open. If you ever had an opportunity to try to win another championship, this season is that season. Who knows where you're going to be in 5 years? It's the Lakers. Very likely the Lakers are going to get some star that's going to come back. There's going to be somebody out there that's going to say, man, I want to go to the Lakers. The Lakers have never really been down for long. They just don't. We've won a championship in every decade ever since the inception of the league. And it's because we weren't afraid to make the chances and take the risks, right? We weren't afraid to see the landscape and go, you know what? We're in a position where we can win. I understand we are right now sitting in 13th seed, but we're 2 games out of the playoffs. And I'm not even talking about a play-in. We're like literally 2 games out of like the 6th seed. We're there. You just need to get into the playoffs and then trust your team to do it. Not just that, but if you do a deal that makes sense. I'm not saying just trade the picks. Like, a lot of people are like, F them picks, get anything. It's not what I'm saying. I don't think you just trade Russell Westbrook just to trade Russ. I don't think you just trade the picks just for the sake of trading the picks, right? But if there's a deal that's there that makes sense, right, do the deal. Especially if it gets you a couple pieces that helps, not even this season, but the next few seasons, right? Like, again, just to use as an example, let's say Bojan and Alec Burke. They fit LeBron and AD's timeline. So even if you don't win this year, now you have a full offseason with a full training camp, with a full preseason to get the team in order and build around basically your core 4, if you re-sign Russ, 5 guys. Now you have basically Russ, LeBron, AD, Bojan, and Alec Burke with Max Christie, who I think is showing promise to be able to take a step in the right direction and maybe play some ample minutes next season. Austin Reeves, you probably keep. Maybe you can find a way to keep, like a Thomas Bryant or something. Otherwise, get some other backup center. And you're off to the races. And you got now a legit team that can compete for the next several seasons. That's what the Lakers should be doing. That's what the Lakers should be looking at. Not this whole, let's wait for draft picks that are irrelevant. Again, don't trade the picks just for the sake of trading the picks. No trade is better than a bad trade. I've said that repeatedly, right? And I do believe that. We all remember Luol Deng and Timothy Mozgov, right? That was a move just for the sake of doing a move, just so that way Mitch Kupchak could try to save his job, and it ended up blowing up in our face. We don't want something like that. We don't want a move that's going to end up jeopardizing the franchise for the next several seasons. It could get worse, right? But if there is a deal, like if you can really get Bojan and Alec Burke, or if you can get like the Hornets deal, like Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, and maybe PJ Washington or something like that, even if you could just get some, 2 solid wing players and then a point guard, shooting guard type guy that can score and put the ball in the hoop. Like, do it. Get the deal done. Make it happen. Now, look, I still expect and believe that the Lakers are going to do some deal. I do. I think some team is going to compromise and come down and try to work something out because they're going to want, at least one of those first. And we've seen, based on reports, we've seen that the Lakers are willing to give up a first. They don't really want to give up both, but they've said that they will for the right move, for the right package. And based on the reports we got, they gave up one first, or offered one first, for Bojan Bogdanovic. So they just don't want to give up an unprotected first, which I understand. I don't think, Bojan, I do think you should bite the bullet and just do it, but I don't really think Bojan is worth an unprotected first. But sometimes you're just in a situation to where, sometimes you got to pay, the $1.20 instead of the typical dollar, right? Like sometimes that's what you got to do because you're not in a position to compromise, right? So they've shown the willingness. So that's why I don't fully buy this report. I just don't. And who was it? Dave McMenamin said that if they find a move that works for the next like 3 seasons, that the Lakers will actually make the move. Like if they find, like I said, like the Hornets deal where you can get 3 or 4 guys that could be on the team, not just this season, but the next, 2 or 3 seasons, that the Lakers would absolutely do it. I hope that that's more true than what this report is, because if this is the case and Jeanie Buss is basically strong-arming the franchise and saying like, oh yeah, no, like we're not doing any moves, we're not doing any trades, we're not going to let it happen. And we've seen Jeanie already veto several trades that Rob's tried to make. Again, like Rob's just the front man. That's all he is. He's the guy that's answering the phones and playing front office, and he's the guy that takes the backlash and gets all the blame. Right? That's what he is. Jeanie and Kurt Rambis and Linda Rambis and all them, they're the ones that are making the decisions. And that's been a real problem for the Lakers, right? We've seen numerous times where decisions being made aren't being made by the people that are hired to do the job. If you don't think Rob is capable of doing the job, I don't think Rob is as bad as people think he is, but obviously you don't believe he can do the job well enough to where you have to babysit him. So if that's the case, then go find somebody else that you believe in, right? Like, why would you hire somebody into a position just to oversee and basically veto every decision that they make? If that's the case, then why do you have him in that position, right? Go find somebody else that you believe in. There are plenty of GMs that I believe would be willing to come to the Lakers if they could I get to make the decisions. Problem is, I don't think the Lakers would do it. I don't. And that's a real problem. And I don't think, like, that's why, like, the reports of all the star players and stuff like that, that's why those reports actually make sense, right? Because that's what the Lakers have always done. And I think that's how Jeanie's looking at it, is like, oh, like if we get another star, well then, hey, we got another star. I don't buy it. Get the depth, get the role players, get the pieces you need, and let's go contend for a championship this year. LeBron is still playing like the greatest player in the NBA. It's insane. Anthony Davis proved to you when he's healthy, which is a concern, of course, but he's proven to you that if he's healthy, he's good enough to lead this team. He just can't stay healthy. But if you put a team that's good enough to weather the storm, right? Like I said, if you go get like a Detroit deal and go get Alec Burke and Bojan Bogdanovic, and then, maybe you could use that other first and go get, whomever, go get maybe Doug McDermott or a Jakob Poeltl and a Josh Richardson or something like that. And now you got like 3 or 4 people. That's enough with Russell Westbrook the way he's playing right now and LeBron James the way he's playing right now to get you into the playoffs. And then if AD comes back and he's healthy, you have a great chance of winning a championship, especially in the wide open West. I don't know. I hope this report isn't true. I hope it's just nonsense. I hope it's just something. But again, take it as you may. As always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. What do you think of this report? Are you like me that, no, I hope this isn't true? Do you think it is true? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments.